Good evening and welcome to another episode of Main Street Sports. Ray Halbrook here from Livestream STL. Hope everybody is having a little warmer Wednesday here, and we're hoping to bring you a little warmth here with some interviews for some great coaches here. And one of our co-hosts here with myself is going to be Coach Lee Richardson. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Ray. Glad to be here.
Hey, and Lee and I are going to kind of lead this whole thing, and hopefully we'll do as good a job as Jeff Whitener and Scott Lotta do with everything here. So
we'll do our best to keep up with them, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, and we've got some great coaches here. We've got Coach Jason Therrell from the Festus Tigers, Coach Jason Jarvis from the Herculean Black Cats, and I have on the line, who is a little laid up here, Coach Zeb Hammond from the DeSoto Dragons as well. There's Coach there, and Lee, we're just going to let you kick things off, and guys, just kind of listen to Lee here on where he's trying to direct the questions to. I'm just kind of here to push the buttons for a little while here, but I will ask some questions from time to time.
Yeah, you bet, Ray. Yeah, we're just here to kind of talk to these three coaches and see what their teams are looking at going in the stretch around the season here. And one thing, we got to set a few ground rules. One of them, we're not going to discuss my career record against these three guys. All right, so
it's good against me.
But anyway, yeah, we're glad to be here, and we're going to kind of kick it around and talk to all the coaches, kind of throw a question out there and let them all answer, and just go from there and see where they're at. But starting first of all with Coach Therrell of Festus, your team having a really good year. You're 16-5. You're 7-1 in the conference, which means you've guaranteed yourself of a co-championship with DeSoto. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, and just talk about review and what you think about your season so far.
Right, like you said, we're 16-5 right now. I think at times this year we've played some pretty good basketball. We actually started out 1-2 this year. As most of everybody knows, our football players made a really deep run in the playoffs. So they missed about, the first 15 practices or so. So I think that contributed us to getting off to a little slow start. Demarion Anderson has not played for us this season with a broken arm from football, and I think we had to find a way to replace him throughout the season. But I think we kind of hit our stride down at the Park Hills tournament and played really well down there, competed against South Iron and won some other good games. And then after Christmas, we found a way to win quite a few games. They haven't been a lot of blowouts or anything like that. But we have some kids that really care about winning, and we've played decent basketball down the stretch.
Yep, winning close games, real important, good sign of a good team. Coach Hammond, we'll come to you next. Your team, you got a 12-10 record. You got 2 games remaining on your schedule. And if you get a win over Windsor this Friday, big game there, you will also have a 7-1 conference record and tie Festus for that share of the championship. So, Coach Hammond, same thing to you. Talk a little bit about how your season's going so far.
Oh, you know what?
Did we lose him?
We didn't lose him. Let me open up your mic there. Sorry about that, Zeb.
There he is.
Go ahead.
Not a problem. No, we've had a up and down season this year. Early in the season, we dealt with a lot of kids, being out for multiple weeks. Which is kind of what we're the pandemic years, I guess, that we're living in right now. But once they came back, everyone was healthy. We found a way to just continue getting better every single day. We played a lot of good teams this year. Seems like we've played a lot of teams multiple times. Festus 3 times, North County 3 times, Hillsboro 5 times. But I feel like each game we're getting better. A big focus this year was our defense. And I thought, looking at scores of the games and we're holding a lot of the teams under their average. And, that's just one positive that we can continue to build upon.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that. And going to go to Coach Jarvis now. Quick recap on your season. Right now, you guys are at 4-15. You got 4 games left on the schedule. We'll see how many of those you're able to get in. But what are you looking for out of your team, Coach, here in the last 4 games of the season as you head towards your district play starting next week?
Well, we got Valley Park tomorrow at Valley Park. We got Cuba, and we just added Hillsboro for next week, next Thursday. and then we will square off against Potosi for districts. And we're 4-15. As a lot of people know, I lost Josh Moreland before the season ever started, and losing Jordan Duncan to graduation, there was 80% of our offense. We had to try to find some people to replace that, and Bracy and Fuller have been pretty, steady most of the year. Just haven't found that third scorer. Been very inconsistent on that third scorer, and I'm just hoping that these last 3 games before that district game, we can prepare for Potosi and get ready for what they're going to have for us. Big team. They're really been playing better in the second half, and we're going to have our hands full, and it's at their house. So, just hoping to get prepared next 3 games to get ready to give Potosi our best shot.
Yeah, interesting twist with the districts this year with the higher seed hosting, and so we'll see how that all plays out. But that could play a significant advantage for some people.
Well, yeah, and we jumped from Class 3 to Class 4 too. So if you look at our districts, you got St. John, Park Hills, Fredericktown, St. Clair, Potosi, and then us. So that's a different feel for us too. So see how we do.
Yeah.
I got our first district win of my career last year. So hopefully we go down and surprise some people.
Yeah, we can shave them enrollment figures next year just a little bit.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, right.
I'd rather be in Class 3, but I got it. The cards that are dealt. So
that's right.
My kids will play hard. I know that. We've lost a lot of close games this year where a lot of games 10, 11 points. So hopefully we can, these last 3 games before that district final or district game, we can get it going.
You bet. All right, you can toss it to Ray for the next question.
My question for all the coaches, and we'll start with Coach Zeb Hammond up over there, who, by the way, is nursing a little bit of an injury. You can tell us a little bit about your war wound, because I just heard about it today. But speaking of injuries, we're going to talk about the health of each squad, and we're going to start with the DeSoto Dragons here. Zeb Hammond, tell us a little bit about your injury first before we go on. What did you do?
Well, we had Sunday night practice. We were getting ready for Windsor, and I was just going over some of the Windsor offensive plays with my guys, and made a wrong step and ended up rupturing my Achilles. So I just had it surgically repaired on Thursday, and the doc said I'll be in a boot for several months.
Wow. Well, we hope you get better quickly, and also
Ouch.
tell us a little bit about the health of DeSoto Dragons right now.
We're pretty healthy right now. Like I said, we lost a lot of kids early with the virus going around, but ever since Christmas, we've been pretty healthy. Everyone's managed to, escape that for the most part. We had a little scare the other night against Perryville. Our center, Mertens, rolled his ankle, but, I kept him out of the game, and then luckily the snows hit, so he had an entire week of being off of it. Came out against Hillsborough, and he was back to 100%. So, heading into these last 2 games in districts, I feel good about my squad. We're healthy and ready to go.
Awesome. Coach Therrell, the status of the Festus Tigers.
We're healthy as what we've been all season. Like I mentioned DeMarian earlier, he's a kid that we lost that scored 14 points a game as a sophomore last year. He broke the humerus bone in his arm in football, and it's just never healed 100% for him to get back on the basketball court. I would have really liked to see what he could do with this team because he's a really good player, but he's not going to play for us the rest of the season. Armad was on quarantine for a couple weeks with some contact tracing, but he never had the virus, so we're healthy and ready to go going into these next couple games.
Awesome. And finally, Coach Jarvis.
We're completely healthy right now. Bracy had kind of tweaked his ankle a couple weeks ago, but we've had a lot of time off. We've only practiced twice in the last 2 weeks, so we are pretty healthy. We had our quarantine over Christmas break, thanks to me. So, it was bad. We went almost a whole month without practicing, so that was kind of rough, but we got it all out of the way, and hopefully it stays that way.
Awesome.
All right, so moving on, guys, we're going to talk about some of your individual players. Sure. That's the ones who make it go, and starting with you, Coach Therrell.
Okay.
You mentioned Armad Branch, and this year he's among the Metro leaders in points, free throw percentage, assists, steals. And for our part here at Main Street Sports, last week we kicked it around, and we felt like he almost was that large school player of the year, falling just a little short to Sonny Amabile from Windsor. And also Jordan Mertens, who we talked about a second ago. He was in that discussion. But, when you saw him play as a freshman last year, everybody, his potential was obvious. And what has he done this sophomore year to start realizing that and what he means to your team?
Well, first off, he's improved in every area on the floor. He's more impactful on the defensive end. He's stayed within himself on offense. He gets other players involved. His shooting has really taken a big step up this year. He's shooting 80% from the free throw line. He's shooting in the mid-30s from the three-point line. So he deserves a lot of credit for the way he's improved our game. After we played Windsor the other night, I actually pulled Sonny aside and told him how impressed I was with him and how hard he's played this year. But I think if you said make a good case for Armad for MVP, I could. And if somebody said make a good case for Sonny, I think you could. But my case for Armad would be I think he's been the best player on the best team in the conference this year. He's played the best. On a stat sheet, he fills it up. He gets steals. He gets rebounds. He gets assists. And, he's contributed to a winning team. And he's really done it getting better every single game. Our team really kind of feeds off his energy on the floor and some of the individual plays he makes. And I think, in my opinion, he's the MVP of the large school conference, but Sonny's had a great year too.
No doubt.
I agree with that. I got a question for Coach Zeb out there. Jordan Mertens, he plays a big role on your team, literally and figuratively. But Aiden Blair, Nick Krodinger, they've proven to be big cogs in the Dragons' success. Aiden is also among the metro area leaders in points, assists, steals. Tell us about Aiden and Nick's contributions this season.
Yeah, when you think of DeSoto, the first two names that you usually think of is Mertens and Krodinger, but Aiden Blair really came out this season, and it all started at the end of last season, really putting the time in the gym. As a freshman, I always told my assistant coaches he has the potential to be the best player on this team, and he finally figured it out. What he does defensively to teams, he gives them fits and always in the passing lanes, getting his fingertips on it. And once he gets a few steals and sees the ball go in, then it just opens up his offensive game, where he starts hitting from the perimeter. And he's done a great job of not forcing this year, which was something we kind of battled in the past. But he's not scared to share the ball, make that extra pass. He's playing really well, and really making some of those key passes in games that lead us to some scores.
Appreciate that there, Coach.
All right, you bet. Hey, Coach Jarvis, so you mentioned a couple players earlier, and one I want to kind of talk about right now is Isaiah Bracey, and he leads you in points, rebounds, and assists. That's a pretty good combo right there. And I've been very impressed personally with his kind of growth and maturity on the court this year, as you said, replacing two elite scorers in this conference in Duncan and Moreland. So talk about Isaiah's contributions and what he's meant to your team in this senior season.
Yeah, he's averaging 10.2. Fuller's actually averaging 11.3, but no biggie. Bracey adds to all the other things on the stat sheet. He rebounds, he steals, he causes people problems defensively and offensively, and he's really grown into that leadership role as a senior. He's one of those kids that came to everything. If I opened the gym, Isaiah was there. So he put in a lot of time this summer, improved his outside shooting. It may not show it by statistics right now, but early in the season he was really shooting well from the outside. It's kind of cooled off since then, but that's partly my fault because I put him inside and made him work inside, and that's where his scoring's taken off. But Isaiah's played he's had a great season. Scored 194 points so far, and I'm hoping he'll do some big things with the games we have left.
Okay, apologies to Dallin Fuller there. Yeah. Big game a couple weeks ago, 21 points against St. Pius, and you get him back next year too, so that's important.
Oh, yeah. He bad thing about Fuller, he may score 21 one game, and then he'll come back and score 2 the next. So I got to get him to be more consistent.
Yep, no doubt.
Absolutely.
And
I'll go take this next one.
Yeah, you bet.
I'll start with Coach Therrell here. We're going to talk about just the depth and some of your other key players here real quick. Sorry, I can't see around your phone here.
Fine.
But you're blessed with some great depth this year.
Yep.
What are some of the challenges in utilizing your bench and getting everybody playing time?
That's a really good question. To be perfectly honest, my kids have made that really, really easy on me this year. Been doing this a while, and this is one of the more unselfish groups that I've had. They really have handled that situation well. There's a couple kids that, based on matchup, certain night haven't played as much as other kids, and it really has not been a problem in the locker room or, they seem to really just want to win. So from that standpoint, it's been pretty easy to handle. Like I said, these kids have been a pleasure to coach, and they've made that part of it easy on me.
Easy. Nice.
So, Coach Jarvis, kind of the same question for you. Some other guys this year, maybe don't get talked about a lot, but have stepped up and exceeded your expectations this season?
Well, I've had to, if you've seen us play recently, I've been playing a lot of 10th graders now. They've been inching their way into the game a little bit more. You got Hoskins, who's had a great game against Pius, helped us win that game in the Bruce Thomas tournament. Another young player, and Dylan Black, he's a post player that comes in, gives us good minutes off the bench. My son, Dylan Jarvis, he's played all year. He's averaging 3.9 points a game. He's shooting 35% from three. He's only shot 60 of them, and not only me, my other coaches were always encouraging him to shoot more, and I can't get my own kid to shoot it. It's like, come on, kid, shoot. But, and then we had one more other senior, and Grant McCullough, who's been struggling from the field this year, but he turned it around his last game, had 14 points, hit 4 threes against Vincent, kept us in the game for 3 quarters. I got some young guys. One I haven't mentioned, Gabe Watkins. He run the point. He, not just offensively, but defensively. I mean, he's only scoring 5.5 a game, but what he does running the point and distributing the basketball, he's in the top 25 in assists, and Gabe's just going to get better. He's only a sophomore. He's really a freshman. He lost his whole freshman year last year with a torn ACL, and so I got to keep reminding myself we're pretty young. And some of the work we're putting in now is going to help us in the next 2 years.
Yeah, high ceiling for your sophomore group, I think, and that'll be fun to watch
coming
up here.
You add that with Weesey and Fuller, my 2 juniors.
Yep.
And you got another junior there in Zach Crocker, and I think there should be some good things for us next year.
No doubt. Hey, Coach Hammond, kind of the same thing. Mertens, Blair, Kroninger, those guys get a lot of press. What about some other guys that have stepped up and maybe exceeded your expectations this season?
The 2 that I'd like to mention would be number 1, Levi Fisher. He started for us this year as a 3 or a 4-man, kind of depending on who we're playing. But his game has grown as the season's gone on. He started off not shooting the ball well, but he's put in that extra time during practice and after practice, and I would say after Christmas, he's probably shooting close to, if not over 50% from the 3-point range. And just his athleticism alone, he's one of those kids who's not scared to get inside, get dirty. Probably our best rebounder overall. But his defense has also improved. I wish I could have him for 2 more years. Unfortunately, he's a senior. And then there's also our point guard, Cody Petty. He's taken his role as a point guard this year and slowly starting to expand it as being a scorer when we need him to score too. Early in the season, he was never looking for his shots, never looking to score, so teams were always leaving him and doubling Mertens. And it finally clicked here in the last few games that, I just got to cut to the basket, and Mertens is finding him. And, it's again, they're high school kids. Once they see that ball go in once, it just kind of lifts the weights off their shoulders, and they'll start shooting it more. And that's really what he's been doing.
That's good. That's good. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break here real quick. And before we take out of here, we'll wrap up a little bit of the schedules that we've got going on here with Livestream STL at the back half of this break, and then also talk a little bit about the conference standings, large schools, small schools, and district play moving forward, along with maybe a little bit more about some of the players from time to time here. And so you are watching Main Street Sports. We will be right back in a moment. We hope you're enjoying tonight's presentation. Take advantage of the HD experience here with Livestream STL by going to the TKDS Sports Network app. Download the app and subscribe by going to videos.tkdssports.com. That'll get you access onto our TKDS Sports app, Roku, and Fire Stick. And thanks so much for your support of Livestream STL.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Crodinger with Home by SMCI. Whether it's residential or commercial, we have the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, even help dust in your house. They install easily, less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products that we do offer, give us a call at 636-337-4444 or send us an email at service@homebysmci.com.
Jefferson College has affordable degree options for students of all ages. Plus, the quality of education rivals any four-year university, and designated classes are guaranteed to transfer. Jefferson College provides safe on-site and online options and many exciting career pathways like humanities, business, social science and public service, math, physics and technology, and science and health. Students who know, go Jeffco. Enroll now at jeffco.edu.
For fine Mexican cuisine,
a family atmosphere,
any place to watch your local sport teams. Come out to La Pechangas.
check out our 4 locations: Arnold, Herculaneum, Crystal City, and Bonne Terre.
Come out to La Pechanga.
I'm about to get teed up. What? I'm talking to them. I'm not talking to you. Are you kidding me? You're throwing me out of a summer league game? I'm not Riley Blair. I'm not going anywhere. He shoot the free throws. Shoot the cops. Join us. Coach's Box, 7 p.m. live from La Pechanga. Tuesday night. See you there.
And we are back for our second half of Main Street Sports here. But before we get started with that, we wanted to kind of give you what we've got going on here as far as Livestream STL is concerned. Our schedule is going to fill up pretty quick here. And we're strictly talking about the playoffs right now. Playoffs, right? You know, we can't talk about playoffs right now, can we? Yeah, we can, because playoffs start actually Saturday. So we're taking a look right away here. We're going to be out at St. Pius X as McKinley comes to town. That is a 2:45 pregame. And then the winner of the DeBerg and Jefferson girls Saturday, I want to make sure I get that right, we'll play the the St. Pius X Lancers on the 22nd at 6:45. And then we have boys action. That's Monday. Boys action on Tuesday, 5:45. I just got that locked down with Coach Ken Jones over at Crystal City. So Crystal City boys on Tuesday, 5:45, and girls action, 5:45 on Wednesday. Take a couple of days off here, and then we roll over to Saturday, February 27th, as the Fredericktown Black Cats come to town to square off with the Lady Black Cats of Herculaneum, 4:45 on February 27th. If you're interested in helping us out with advertising on that, give us a call, 314-852-4398, or live stream stl@outlook.com. As we roll into our next segment here, and I'm going to open up the microphones here for everyone. And Coach Lee Richardson, you go ahead and take it away here, and we'll get started again.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna stick with the players a little bit longer, and just kind of a quick, short answer, or as long as you want to talk about. But we'll start with Coach Therrell of Festus. Who is the consummate team guy for your team this year?
There's a few that I'd like to mention that I think do a really good job with that. But a guy that's done it for 4 years for me consistently, has been as coachable as any kid I've had, and really just cares about winning, is Colin Riendo. He fills up a stat sheet, rebounds, points. Like, I don't think the kid has taken 10 shots in a game this year, but he's impacted winning a lot. You know, he's not a particularly good outside shooter, but he plays his role well. He gets steals, he gets rebounds, plays great defense for us. Basically a coach whatever you need type of guy. And I think all the kids realize that he just cares about them and winning. A couple other kids that I think have done a tremendous job with that is Desmond Davis has changed our program.
The truck.
He has changed the way we do things in terms of he comes from Caruthersville and a little different atmosphere down there, and he is so great. He is one of the most supportive kids of the other players that I have seen. That he loves getting the bench hyped. He loves talking to the other kids. He's actually really supportive of a couple of our freshmen that practice with us every day, and he's constantly talking to them. And if there was a popularity contest in our school, Truck would be high on the list. So he's a good team guy. And then J.D. McDowell came back to basketball this year, didn't play as a junior and came back as a senior, and is another kid that the team really likes, and he's done a lot of good things for us. So those guys, to me, plus the other kids, and when I mention those kids, it doesn't take away from the other ones that have done a nice job being team players, right. But those three stand out to me as far as the way they've handled themselves.
Yeah, and I felt bad last week.
We forgot his name.
Yeah. I know very well what Colin Riendo can do, and impressed that 2 years ago when he was a sophomore, he's kind of your point guard.
Right.
Yeah, and so to just be that athletic and talented and team-oriented to take that on, and now he's almost like a second or third point guard on the floor for you now.
And I think, people say, well, kid will do whatever you want, but he really will do whatever you want. Like, I do not think he cares at the end of the game how many points he has. I don't think, if we win, he's happy and he's real supportive of the other guys. So when Armad came in, I think there was a point midway through last year where it became pretty obvious to everyone that Armad needed to be our point guard, and Colin accepted that very easily. It was not – honestly, it wasn't even a conversation I had to have. He's going to do what we need him to do.
Gotcha. Coach Hammond, I'm going to throw it to you, and you can talk about one guy or several if you'd like. Who is your consummate team guy for the DeSoto team?
One guy that sticks out would have to be Nick Krodinger. Like I said earlier, he's been our leading scorer, or one of the top two scorers the past 2 years, I believe. And this year his role has changed with Aiden having the year that he's having, and Jordan still contributing like he does. Nick isn't shooting the ball near as much as he has been in the past, and he's completely okay with that. He's the guy on the floor that I can depend on at all times to slow us down when we need to slow down, speed us up when we need to speed up. He knows when he's tired. He's not afraid to ask to get subbed out, and he's kind of taken that role on and just ran with it this year. And honestly, the guys on the bench are the same ways. I've only been playing 6, 7, maybe 8 guys all year, and we dress 12 to 13. And you don't hear one complaint ever coming from those guys. They come into practice every day. They're okay with being on the practice squad, beating up on all the starters, and they know their role on the team, and I think that's what kind of contributes to our success this year.
Yeah. And without seeing you play a lot this season, I bet those bench guys are pretty hyped during games too, and giving the guys on the floor a lot of energy, because we know a loud team's a winning team.
Yes, they have been this year. I looked, the other night we were playing Hillsborough, and they kept yelling defense on every defensive possession, and I had to look down and ask my coaches, when did we get some cheerleaders on the bench? But
Nice.
they really are. They're bought in, and they're part of the game. From tip off to the last buzzer.
Great. All right, Coach Jarvis, same question for you. Who is your ultimate team guy this season, or guys?
Well, I got several that, a lot of these guys are bench guys, but they're the ones that keep, they're kind of the glue that keeps the team together. Austin Myers, my backup point guard, really put in a lot of work this year, the last couple years to improve his game. Even when he's not getting to play as much as he wants to probably play, he's on the bench cheering people on. I got a couple other guys that do a lot of that too, and Doug Maloney. Many of you probably have heard the Maloney family, especially when it comes to football. And Doug's a great team guy, great leader on the bench and in practice. He always gives it 100%, even though he knows that he probably won't play much on the game night. And Zach Crocker, another junior who's really been doing a good job. He's one of the first ones you'll see jump up when something good happens during a game. And Austin Jackson, another senior who really is a great bench guy who really gets everyone hyped, always positive. And it's good to have those type of guys, even with the season we've had with only 4 wins. If you would have seen our Pius game and seen our bench was absolutely insane during that game. And that was one of the best games we played all year.
Yeah, it's one of the most important things for the guys on the floor, maybe the guys who play a little bit more, to just know their teammates got their back and can really hear it and feel it. But one more thing about all 3 of you mentioned a lot of seniors, and so it's kind of crucial to have your seniors step up and be that guy and kind of pass that culture down to the group coming up. Hey, Ray, you're next.
I am next. What are you guys most proud about your team this year, and what has been the challenge, maybe the biggest challenge? So what are you proud about? What have you guys been challenged with? And we'll start with Zeb over here via the video chat. Zeb, take it away.
So the past 6 years I've been a man-to-man guy. Never really thrown in a lot of zone. Never really played a lot of zone. But this year's team, I knew we were going to be pretty long and athletic. So I kind of completely switched up my whole coaching philosophy and defense philosophy. And we went to a zone this year. And for the kids never playing it before, they bought in. And, like I said, it's continued to get better from day one. It's a pretty scrappy little defense. And they bought in and, kind of ran with it.
Awesome. Coach Jarvis.
So you were asking for something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Well, the Bruce Thomas tournament this year, we haven't really played on the winning bracket side of that tournament very often, and this year we defeated the number 2 seed and then turned around and defeated the number 1 seed in Pius. So we were very satisfied. I'm sorry, it was the 2 and 3, wasn't it?
It was 2 and 3.
Sorry,
yeah.
2 and 3 seed. And very satisfied with getting 3rd place in that tournament. That was probably one of the best things that's happened this year in our season.
Awesome. Coach Therrell.
2 things for me. The first one is last year at the end of the year, we had a really young team, the youngest team I can remember at Festus. And I'm really proud of the way the kids kind of owned that last year wasn't what we were hoping for, and that how much work they put in towards this season. From the start of the end of last season until now, the kids have been really dedicated about what they wanted to accomplish, and I'm proud of them for that. And then this year, I'm also proud of the way they've adjusted to all the circumstances that we've had. We've had, like I said, Damarian didn't play all year. We've had Armad on quarantine. We played games at other schools where they said we couldn't have fans and they could. And there's been some odd circumstances that go along with this pandemic. And I think our kids have handled those challenges, as well as you can expect 15, 16, 17-year-old kids to handle it. So I've been proud of that aspect of it.
Good. I've got an additional question for you, Coach Therrell.
Yep.
I've been given some information about a certain freshman that put up somewhere around 30-something points not too long ago,
Yep.
and I was told to maybe give it a little shout out. So I don't know the the young man's name, but maybe you can give a little push for that. But Tyler Bates put me up to this, so just wanted to see what you thought about his performance on that particular game, especially.
So I would like that. Really kind of opens it up to give me a good opportunity. So.
Yeah.
We have practiced with 3 young kids all year that have been with us at practice from the start, which is Logan Cash, Carter Roth, and Hayden Bates. And I think the fact that they practiced with the varsity from day one, like I talked about before, Desmond has kind of embraced those kids, Riendo's embraced those kids, and they've really seen some improvement in their game. And Hayden's the player that you're talking about. I think he scored 35 against Windsor last week.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that Hayden Bates' name is going to be very well known here in the county for basketball and baseball coming up here real soon. He's a really good player. Carter Roth is a really good player, one of the smartest freshmen I've had. I think he's going to do a great job. And then Logan Cash has been a very, very good JV player and somebody that I think can step into a role next year. So those 3 kids from a young player standpoint have been as good as it gets for us.
Appreciate that. Coach Lee.
Yeah, guys, we're going to talk districts now. And, of course, this time of year, that's what everybody's gearing up for. And whether you're a high seed, and you have hopes of winning it, or maybe you're at the other end of the spectrum, but you still, you tell your guys it's a new season, everybody's 0-0. So exciting time of year. And Coach Hammond, we're going to start with you over there. So you got the 4 seed in Class 5, District 2, and you will get to host number 5 Hillsboro. So you get a home district game on Saturday, February 27th. So just coming off a big conference win against Hillsboro, what do you think you'll have to do to try and beat them again?
He hasn't played them much.
Yeah. We probably know their plays about as much as we know ours. No, I told my kids early in the season, it's hard to beat a team twice. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, but to play a team 6 times is, kind of unheard of. But we're going to have to, we always break the season up. You have before Christmas, after Christmas, and then you have district. So, it's a new season. We're going to have to just go in there with a clear head and take it one game at a time, we know exactly what they're going to do, and we're just going to have to make sure that we can stop them.
Good deal. All right, moving back to Coach Therrell. So you're in the same district as DeSoto.
Right.
And you got the 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking earlier and kind of went according to expectations there.
Right.
But in your first round, you get to travel down and have a rematch with Farmington team you played a few weeks ago. And it's just a tough district overall, North County being up there at the 1. DeSoto, obviously a high-quality team,
right.
and Hillsboro playing better lately at the 4 and the 5. So this is a really tough district. And so what overall kind of what's your broad goals for the tournament, but
right.
I guess more specifically, what are you going to do versus the last time you faced Farmington?
Right. Like you said, it is a really tough district. If you're talking about, I think North County's 18-1 or 17-1, whatever they are. Farmington's a really good team, and obviously DeSoto and Hillsboro are quality teams as well. So you go into this district knowing that you're going to have to play your best basketball to win. I think there's 2 ways for us to handle the Farmington game because it's the only game all year that we have not been competitive in. And I think that the first way you could look at it is just we're going to forget that game completely, act like it didn't happen, go into the next game with them with a fresh mind. But the other way, and I think this is the way we'll approach it, is we'll own the fact that they were better than us that night. They kicked our butt. North County is extremely talented, but I have not personally seen a team play better than Farmington did against us that night. And their coach said that in the seed meeting today, that that's the best game they've played all year. But also that they were just better than us. In every aspect of that game that night, they ran the floor better than us. They played better defense than us. They shot it better than us. So I think we go back to our kids and say, look, we weren't good enough to beat them that night. We weren't even good enough to compete with them that night. What do we do differently this time? And we'll own the fact that they were better than us and try to go out and attack that in a different way this time come, next Tuesday.
Good deal. And that'll be a great challenge, and I'm sure Festus will definit's shrink the gap from last time, and it'll be a very competitive game. You'll have every chance to win there.
It could not be worse than last time.
Yeah. Well, and as you mentioned, they've been playing very well and dropping 80 and 90 points on everybody left and right.
They can put some points on the board in a hurry.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, they can.
Absolutely. So moving on to Coach Jarvis, Herculaneum, as we talked earlier, you moved up to Class 4. You're in District 2 in Class 4 this year, and you got the number 6 seed, and you got to go to number 3 Potosi. So let's just talk about, obviously it's just one game at a time now, and what do you have to do to find success against Potosi specifically for that game?
Well, I haven't watched them a whole lot. I've seen a couple games. Haven't really got to dig in yet, but they're big. They're big underneath, and they can shoot it from outside. And so we're gonna have our work cut out for us, and we're just gonna go down there and try to give it the best shot we can, and play the type of game that we've been playing. If we can play like we did against Pius, if we can play like we did in some of our wins or some of our close games, we can give Potosi a run for their money. I added Hillsboro for next week. Maybe I need to call Zeb before I go out there and play Hillsboro, since he's had them so many times, and get some advice on what to do against them. But, I'm looking forward to a shot at Potosi. I used to work at Potosi one year, so it'll be fun to go down to that gym. And it's a unique and neat gym, and something for our kids to experience. And hopefully Bracey and some of those seniors will strap it on, and we can give them a game.
Just real quick, to throw this back to all the coaches, this has obviously been a challenging year. Coaching any year is challenging, and then you throw in COVID, cancellations, the blizzard of 21, and just everything you guys have to deal with, and then throw all this on top of there. So I guess kind of, talk this however you want to, but what have you learned from this season, or what's been maybe the lesson that's gotten you personally through this season? Because coaching any year is tough. Coaching this year, obviously it's my first year off from it. I can't even imagine, and my heart goes out to you guys. So we'll go back to Coach Hammond for that one. What have you kind of learned or been able to grow personally in this tough season?
Well, the biggest thing that I've learned this year is no matter how well you feel like you're prepared, all that can change in a matter of one phone call. I don't know how many times there was this year early in the season. I got a game plan ready for practice. At 2:35, I get a call. One or two players are quarantined for 10 days or 14 days. I get that phone call before a game, hey, 2 of your starters are quarantined. So, no matter what, you can always think you're prepared, but there's always going to be a wrench thrown into it, and you just got to roll with it. And the best thing is, these players, they're high school kids, and, a flip of a switch, they can change just like a coach can, and, that's what we had to do, and they just rolled right along with it.
Awesome. Coach Jarvis, what can you take from this season maybe to just make you a better coach in the future?
Well, Zeb hit on a lot of it, but I knew from the first game, and we were supposed to play Bayless. We ended up playing Kingston. Didn't know I was going to play Kingston in like 1 or 2 days before. Didn't have a whole lot of time to game plan for that. And our schedule has changed so many different times on the phone, on the emails, trying to get games when games are canceled. We weren't, we just added Hillsboro. We weren't supposed to play them. I had a week where we played 4 games, added Fox. I mean, we're playing Class 6 school because I'm like, hey, they're open, we're open. I don't want to take a chance of my kids not getting a game. And so one of the things I really learned to do is just to had to adapt and overcome. I know we haven't won a lot of games, but I wanted my kids to have every opportunity they could, especially these seniors, to get that 18-2 since we didn't get to play in the Christmas tournament, which was a big letdown. These seniors didn't get to play down at Park Hills for Christmas. So any game that I could get, that's one thing I learned. Hey, I'm not going to be able to wait on someone else. Let's take whatever game we can get. We'll play whoever.
Yeah, and I can say all 3 of you guys are definitely competitors, and you're not going to try to get out of a game. You're going to try to find 18 games, 2 tournaments, 16-3, whatever it is, to give your guys every opportunity to get out there on the floor. And whether it's whatever the situation, if it's easy or difficult.
Well, and I couldn't imagine as an AD, and I'll talk about our AD, Jason Gilman. Here he's first year as an AD, and he's had to go out there and try to reschedule all these games and have to deal with me and Blair all the time. And, so he's had a tough go about it. And I know all these ADs have really been on the phone a lot, and it's probably taken away from some of their other responsibilities that they have. So it's not only been a coach's nightmare, it's been a nightmare for people in administration and everything.
That's why they make the big bucks, right?
That's why we always say we hate COVID,
Yeah.
So it really changed it really put things in perspective too.
Yeah, and AD's job is super hard to begin with also, so I can't even imagine. So there's probably been some sleepless nights to go with that. But Coach Therrell, same thing to you, kind of just personally for you. I know there's a lot of challenges and a lot of negatives, and we could dwell on those, but what are you going to emerge with on the other side of this that maybe makes you a little bit stronger?
The hardest part for me to deal with at the beginning was the uncertainty of everything. When you talk about a kid like Colin Riendo, or you talk about a team that you felt has put in the work to put themselves in position to have success, and then you don't really know if you're going to play. You don't know if you're going to have any games or whatever. So I think the one thing that I learned at the beginning is you got to take advantage of what you get. So we had a talk at the beginning of the season when I had my parent meeting, and I said, whether we play one game or 25, we're going to treat every day in practice, we're going to have a good season one way or the other. We're going to give these kids an enjoyable experience, in practice or games or whatever we got. And I think the kids kind of embraced that, and it helped our practices a lot. Like, hey, this might be all you get. Like, we can't control if somebody says you're not going to play a game, or if our team's going to be quarantined for 2 weeks, or whatever the situation is. But let's make sure while we're here, we enjoy what we do get. And we've had a lot of fun together as a group. And I think that's something that should carry over into next year, because I think there'll be less uncertainty next year. But that kind of attitude, I think, is something that I hope I can kind of carry into next year into my coaching.
Good deal.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I just want to personally say thanks so much for stopping in with us, because, we had a little bit of the time to kind of catch up with the coaches. And Lee, you've been a great co-host with me here, and appreciate you being a part of this. And again, Jason Jarvis and Jason Therrell here, along with Zeb Hammond via the video chat. Zeb, thanks so much for being out there, and we hope you heal quick. Oh, you know what? Say it again. We missed it.
I said I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Good
very
luck,
much.
Coach.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yep. We're going to wrap things up here. Ray Halbrook from Main Street Sports. We are going to let you know at 8 o'clock tonight here we'll have the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it. Chris Miller, Jason Jarvis will be back for double duty, and myself and Zach McVeigh and Coach Riley Blair. So make sure you check that out at 8 o'clock. For Ray Halbrook, for Lee Richardson, all of us here at Livestream STL, we're going to say so long. Have a great evening.